Lynn Reardon, thanks so much for coming on and talking about Matt's mission.
You're welcome.
Let's describe how Matt's mission got formed. What happened to your son in 2009?
In 2009, my son died in a car accident. And very shortly then thereafter, we had a walk to celebrate his life, 18 laps or walk around the track. And then I tried to think, what could we do next? So the following year, we had a road race, and we've had one every single year in memory of him and to raise awareness to the consequence of destructive driving decisions.
What happened to cause his death?
He was speeding. He was playing a game with some of his friends. He started driving really fast, took a hill, and he missed the road by just a little bit, and his car rolled 2.5 times, and he died.
You said that day you heard sirens and you thought it was him.
I knew it was him. He left our driveway at 1:15. I heard ridiculous sirens at 10:02, and I just knew without a doubt that something had happened to my son. And very shortly thereafter, a police officer showed up at my front door.
And you told me he wasn't the kind of kid to do that. You would never in a million years have guessed that this would happen to him.
Never.
So this is your message to other parents.
Exactly.
What do you say to them?
When I go to driving school, I only speak at parents' classes because what Matthew did was not like Matthew at all. And I also knew nothing about catching air, driving really fast and taking the hills like that. So once I leave driving school, the parents now are aware of this game, and if my son would do it, anyone's child would do it. And then the kids understand that death is real. Death is real. My son died speeding.
This is a kind of therapy for you, I would imagine. What are you getting back from this by continuing to talk about the death of your son?
Well, I think it helps me for sure. It gives me something to do. I have an awful lot of energy, but it's important for me to prevent this from happening to other people's families. I mean, it was my worst nightmare come true, and I just don't want to see it to happen to anyone else, if possible.
Matt's mission is expanding. You're expanding it into a food pantry in North Branford. Tell me where this idea started.
Well, over the last 5 years, we've helped numerous people with Matt's mission. I think to date, we've given back about $204,000 back into our North Branford community. And I do this because the love I received after Matthew died was just overwhelming. I mean, you expect your family to love you and care for you and your friends, but from the superintendent on down, they wrapped their arms around me and they held me up at my worst time. And so I want to pay that forward, and I want to acknowledge people who are struggling. And one thing I've learned with Matt's mission is that people are hungry. People are hungry. We give out a lot of coupons for Stop and Shop and Big Y.
Just in your town alone?
Just in my town alone.
Give me the facts about your town. Who's hungry?
There's 16,000 people in our town, approximately. A lot of people are hungry. Seniors on a fixed income, people who are sick, disabled. I get stories every single day.
Give me one of them.
Oh, let's see. A man who's the money winner for his family gets cancer. He can't work. He needs surgery and chemotherapy and radiation treatment. He has 4 children, and he's got no money to feed them. So I get wind of this, and I show up at their door, and I bring them, or I had a friend actually do it, bring coupons for Stop and Shop. And that all sounds great. But for the amount of time this man was going to be out of work, that $1,000 in gift cards is just throwing away money is the way I look at it. If there was a viable, classy, wonderful pantry that you could get fresh eggs and fruit and vegetables and meat and milk.
Which is not normally what you get. You're talking about refrigeration.
Correct.
In a food pantry. How far along have you gotten in North Branford to get this structure, bricks and mortar, up and going?
Well, I can't even say I've run into some hurdles, because at this point I'm climbing a mountain to try to get this up and going. But one thing I've said this whole time is where there's a will, there is a way. And I will be sure, by hook or crook, there will be the food pantry of North Branford at some time in our town.
And you want to work in consolidation with the state?
I want to work in consolidation with the Connecticut Food Bank. Mm-hmm. Once you become a nonprofit, which we have our paperwork ready, we just have to sign it this week and submit it, within a short period of time we will have our nonprofit status like Matt's mission does, and we will be able to, for $25 a year, join the Connecticut Food Bank, where we can purchase food for 14 cents a pound. Therefore, I know our shelves will be forever filled, it will be clean, and it will be a place for people to come and not feel bad about needing assistance.
Where did this start before Matt's death?
Well, to be honest with you, there was a time in my life I had been divorced and I remarried and I had another baby and I have 4 children altogether. And it was March and I'm sitting on the couch and I'm feeling grateful for my life. I love my job, I love my husband, my house, my children, my family, and I'm feeling very grateful. And I thought I should pay it forward, I should do something, give back to the community. And I thought about talking and looking into the food bank in our town. Well, that was March. I went to work the next day. Didn't do anything about it, and 2 months later, my son died. And then very shortly after, Matt's Mission was born, and I've been working very, very hard for the last 5 years.
What do you need to get this pantry going?
Well, I need...
Let's just list it, shall we? Manpower, somebody to give you a building?
Manpower we don't need. I have a volunteer base, trust me when I tell you. When our initial spot that we were going to hold the pantry in, it fell through. It just didn't work out with the town council members. They had some concerns and it just wasn't meant to be. So we're moving on to, now we're on to Plan C, and I'm very, very hopeful for Plan C. But we need to get around a few building codes and we need some donation money, and because there's definitely manpower, definitely.
Let's play pie in the sky here. What's the perfect building? What's the perfect space? What do you envision, let's say, five years down the road and it's built?
Well, a perfect space would be what I saw at St. George's Church in Guilford, where they have this beautiful freestanding barn-like structure. It's gorgeous, it's huge, and it's just for the food pantry of the church, not even the town food bank. That's just for the church. I was very jealous, very jealous. It's beautiful. So I would love a piece of property. If I was rich, trust me, if I had a piece of property, I would build the barn myself. I would build the barn myself. So that would be perfect. But
how many people will you service in North Branford? What's your guesstimate?
I'm guessing 100 families a week, I'm guessing.
Latest statistics in the state of Connecticut say 1 out of 7 children in our state are hungry. That shouldn't be.
That shouldn't be.
And I said to you, when children are hungry, they cannot learn.
Right, and when people are sick, they cannot heal.
If you get this pantry built and it's up and running, are you done with Matt's Mission? You have the 5K run, you're talking to folks about not letting their kids get air in the car, you've got the pantry. Is there something else?
I have no idea. Who knew I'd even be here one day? I had no clue. I was just a mother one day, and here I am trying to start a second nonprofit. It's important. You know, I wanted my son to be successful. Everyone wants their children to be successful, and he's not here, so I have to do my part so that people can look back and say, Matt Pachuta was a success. Okay, it took me to help him with that, but everybody wants their children to be successful, and this is what I do for him. And this is what I do for my neighbors because of what they all did for me.
You're a great mom, a great neighbor. Let's get that pantry off the ground. Thanks, Lynn Rudin, for being with me.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.